Well, here we go again. Another Saturday. I decided to do a little bit earlier because I've been on a better bedtime schedule than I had been in the past. It's been it's been a good week this week. Wonder what you guys have been up to. Like I said, these live streams are your time. This is for you. Whatever you want to talk about, that's what I'm here for. I see everybody lining up now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Hey, Greg. Happy Saturday. Everybody make it through 4th of July okay? Always does this right when I get started. I get something in my eye. Edgewater Heating's here. Oh man, I tell you, I'm down to 205 now. I'm guessing somewhere between 25 and 30 pounds. Oh, got the Chippewa boots. Cool. I noticed my boat shoes are just really nasty looking. I got to see if I can clean them or if it's just time to replace them. I changed the insides out, but the outsides are looking pretty crappy. So what do you think about gold? Man, I'll tell you what, I don't know what my timing is, but you remember just before this thing broke out, I did a little thing and I said, hey, this looks like we're about ready to go somewhere. And look at what happened. That thing is still hanging right around 1800. It's pretty impressive. Good day, Dobson. David Lee. I was just reading an article and it was talking about what happened to the people that everybody's always saying that gold and silver are manipulated. It's like, are they done manipulating or are they all in gold and silver now? You never know. Romania, holy mackerel, that's a long ways away. I'll just call you Soren because I'm not sure how to pronounce the first part. So as you know, I've been really working on myself over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going down another layer. Somebody actually called me a simp today. I couldn't even believe it. These clowns, they're probably, I don't know if they're 16 years old, but regardless of what happens with me and my wife, this is what I need to do anyways. But anybody who's been married 35 years better have a different appreciation of your wife than just something that's disposable. Just like I'm kind of surprised that she thinks she can just dispose of me. I've never given up. God hates divorce. It should never be an option. So anyways, as a minimum, I'm working on myself, and at some point, maybe she'll see the light. I don't know. We don't know what's going on in her heart. So got to kind of give her time, and we'll see how it works out. But right now, this is time. Everything that's been happening makes me feel like I'm under demonic attack. And even when I decided I was going to do my 21 days of prayer and fasting, all of a sudden one of my tenants' checks bounced, and they are giving me a rash of crap. They're saying, well, maybe we'll come up the money on the 24th. And I'm like, what the heck? So I went ahead and filed all this stuff with the court, and then they got all upset at me. It's like, you're not giving us any time. I go, look, this is what you do with everybody. These are standard practices. You screwed up. Normally I'll give you 3 days notice. I gave you 10 days to work through stuff, but it's like, they're all upset at me. I was like, I'm not the one that didn't pay rent. You guys did. You got to pay rent to live in the place, and found out they haven't been paying utilities, all kinds of stuff. So it's not a good deal. They said it was COVID and all this, but it's not the case. The guy's on disability, so all kinds of things are going on. This is really fun dealing with tenants. It's like, just go ahead and throw another thing on my back. Just what I need, another thing. I'm trying to get well here. So DW is here. Tinfoil hat. Yo. JT Coin Rings. Thank you. It's a hello chat. Good day, Dobson. So this is Staff a Stacker. Oh man, Australia. Yeah, I don't know what the situation is. They had an online thing for the court, so I filled that out, but there was nobody there to answer any calls, so I got to try calling tomorrow. But yeah, you know, I have to admit, 99% of the time, everything just comes in just right. Every once in a while, somebody has troubles, but I will tell you, the majority of the tenants will call you and say, "Hey, I'm going to be a little bit late. Let me tell you what's going on." But it's these other tenants. You know, I don't know what it is, why they just think that they can just take their time, do whatever, not have any plan. And that's all I've asked them to do. I said, sit down and write down how you're going to pay. Because right now you've got, you know, like a late fee you got to pay. You've got a bounce check fee. You now have court cost fee. I haven't asked for you to be evicted. I've asked just for payment. So figure out how you're going to play. Yeah, commercial. I'm even more concerned about commercial properties right now. I was just reading about Nordstrom. They told their landlord that they were only going to pay half rent into 2021. That's all they can afford. I guess half rent's better than most, but you know, most places will not accept partial rent. That's a really bad idea, by the way, to accept partial rent. So never do it if you can avoid it. Yeah, I might find that through the courts when I go through it. They might go, no, you know, even though this is not related to COVID, there's nothing to do with COVID. They're really testing the system here. We'll find out. All I can do is follow the normal process and see what happens. Yeah, gold has been good to us, folks. Man, you should be happy that I told you to just do mostly gold. You feel a lot better. It's been great. Jim Richter's in the house. Man, I should have grabbed something to eat. It's funny, I'm still not eating very well, but I wait until I get hunger pains. And it's funny, most of the day I don't have hunger pains. Well, the problem with gold is it's not leveraged. The miners are leveraged, but they're not doing nearly as well as like the rentals. The rentals have huge leverage, and you've got somebody paying your mortgage, paying all your bills, you know, when they're paying, and it's just an unbelievable way to do business. So, you know, you got 5 properties, having one screw up every once in a while is not a big deal. Cheap Laugh Kennedy's in the house. Yeah, DW is like, where's the thumbs up? We got 28 people here. I just noticed my hair's not really combed. I was out doing roundup all around the yard today. God, this is the hot time of year right now, super humid. We've been getting rain almost every day in the afternoon. Yeah, I've had really good luck with my tenants. Like I said, I had my normal rent increases this year all went through, and so it's just one tenant all of a sudden is struggling, and so that, you know, most of the time, even when tenants are struggling, we're able to work out a plan and get them back on track. I've had good luck. So it's just unfortunately this is that same house that I had to toss someone out in. What was that, January? That was a nasty one, but. I begin to wonder if this dang house is cursed. Yeah, but gold, you can worry about it getting stole. The only problem, see, I was about ready to go traveling, and this thing came up, and it's kind of put me on hold. I was actually planning on leaving this morning and getting out of town. Yeah, you know, an apartment complex is much, much, much more profitable. Hindsight 2020, at some point, it might be good to convert these all into a rental property. A single apartment complex or something, because this is much more difficult having stuff scattered all around. Yeah, man, I'm 25 to 30 pounds. I don't know what the exact number was. I got so heavy there for a while, I just quit weighing myself. But 205 now. I'm hoping to get down into the 190s. Well, actually, I've given I've given all my animals to a friend, and another one I sold, like all my rabbits, to another breeder. And but I've got an arrangement where I can go back and pick them up again if I need to. Just a few of the breeders, but right now I've kind of devoid myself of all the animals. One of my friends is raising the turkeys to completion, and then I'll go help him process, and I'll take a couple and we'll give them to different friends. And then the laying hens, he's taken those because he needed eggs, and also all the chicks that I was raising, I gave the incubator and hatchery to him, and he's continuing to do that while I'm going to go off and goof off for a little while. But everything's going to be like simplified right now. Yeah, I've actually got one rental property that somebody wants to buy. And, if these guys end up getting tossed out, it's going to be a rent to own type thing, or I'll hold the mortgage. We'll see how it works out. But yeah, the animals kind of had to go right now. Yeah, I've got the dogs. I found a boarding place that I can put both of them in exactly the same kennel, which would be fantastic. But I'm kind of held hostage right now because of this tenant situation. I need to get some confidence that they're going to do what they need to do, because I'm going a long ways away and I just can't turn around and come right back. So I got to find out, what the court situation is and everything else. But right now they're kind of having a little hissy fit. And I just told them, look, this is business. Anybody that you're renting from, this is exactly what they're going to do. You get these forms. You got a court hearing. You got to try to resolve things before we get to court. But the fact is, you have to do it because the clock is ticking. Yeah, I'd have to go look up Norless nickel. I don't know anything about that off the top of my head. There's like 1,500 miners. You can't possibly know everything about all of them. Yeah, well, like I said, the animals may be a temporary thing. We'll find out. Right now, till we kind of get through this, I have no idea. Right now, it looks like we're going to have to split up all the properties, and that's going to be devastating. I don't understand how this is even possible, but that's where we're heading. Right now, I can only assume that it's my fault, and I'm going to do everything I can to improve myself. No communication. No, it is absolutely strange, but look, it's her choice. You can't force anybody to do anything. So right now, I don't understand it at all. Absolutely don't understand it. But when you have kids and everything, you still have to be in civil behavior. You still have to be in communication. So I don't know what the deal is, truthfully. But it's kind of, that's the way she's choosing to play it. That's the way we're going to play it. Can't force anybody to do anything. This is actually kind of like an attorney thing too. You got to remember, they're trying to get your money. So they're going to say, no, don't talk to them, because all of a sudden they're not going to get their money. And you got to remember, it's ding, 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 ding. Got a lot of money coming in here. So hard to say. Yeah, there was an old saying, if a man made a mistake in the woods and nobody was there, would it still be a mistake? Probably. Yep, can't do anything without communication. I agree. But, we all have things that we can work on. And I look at this as an opportunity to try to, I have not been as happy as I should be. I'm content with doing a lot of things that I do. I get a lot of pleasure, but could I say that I was actually happy? Probably not. There's a lot of things that I used to have a lot of pleasure with, like going fishing and stuff, and I just haven't had the energy because this whole thing with the PTSD has been kind of thrown me for a loop, like the sarcoidosis did a couple years ago. So right now, you got to pull in. You got to try to resolve whatever the issues are and get back right. Right now, I kind of feel like it's just really being separated from God. And so I'm going to get back to where I need to be. And then I'm going to, continue trying to get completely healthy again. I want to get rid of this anxiety. I'll tell you, the last 2 days since I made the decision for, prayer and fasting and, study and all this stuff, it is making a big difference already. I'm already spending a lot of time just with the dogs, loving them up, where before I was just frustrated. And they kept coming over and, trying to get on me, and I was like pushing them off. I didn't want anything, but now it's like, you can tell they're happier. So some of this stuff I can tell I'm purging myself. Even like I used to listen to Christian music all the time, but because of the focus I've had on all this stuff, I've kind of pushed all that away. Now, all day I've had it playing in the background while I'm doing what I'm stuff. Yep. This is, I'm going to tell you, the trials we're going to go through, this is only the beginning, folks. They are cranking the screws on us. This is just the beginning. They cranked it and then they relieved it a little bit. And now they're going to crank it back down again. And who knows what else they're going to throw at you. So you better get not only, your health in order, you need to get your spiritual life in order, because we're going to be fighting stuff. I guarantee. Why else would it just be pounded one time after another? That is demonic, I'm telling you. So right now I'm handling it very well because I've already kind of got through some other stuff, and I'm a very strong person. I know I am. And it's just a matter of now, working love only. No, I'm not, especially with my wife, I have no ill will towards her. I've forgiven her for everything. And, at some point, hopefully she does the same for me, because all I can do is take care of myself and make sure I'm doing all the right things. So, the really bad part right now is all the churches are shut down. And, even if you wanted to go to church, you can't. So it's all about you to dig in deep. So Vishnu, I agree with carrying our cross. I did a video a little while ago. If you look up Jordan Peterson, he has a video that talks about carrying our cross. And it was very moving because here's an academic, and he recognizes the value of Christianity. The big thing about repenting is you just need to really pray to God. You need to tell God that you are sorry for what you've done. You made mistakes, try to remember as many as you can and list them out, and then ask for his forgiveness. And if you're not saved, ask to be saved. I'm going to tell you right now, it's all within you. You don't need anybody else to do this. If you want to talk to somebody, send me your email. I have my email posted up there. It's Dobson777 at charter.net. And I'll be glad to call and talk to you and lead you through this. But I'm telling you, my Christian faith has been with me my whole life. There's just ebbs and flows. You have, how close you are to God. And that's what I'm trying to do, is pull closer. Sometimes God just pulls away from you too, pulls his face away. And you can search wherever you want. He's just not going to be there. And it's just going to be a test for you. So right now I'm trying to do everything that I can to be in his good stead and, go back and reseek, was I doing all the right things? Obviously not in the marriage front. So, get some guidance there and try to figure out, what I need to do differently. Right. It's always difficult though when you have somebody that doesn't communicate and they're carrying these hurts. So I don't know if I could have done a better job there or not, but I just always said I'm not a psychic. I got to have more input. I need to do it. Yeah, he wants 2,400 watt solar panels. I was trying to remember. I think mine were only 300 watt a couple years ago. So those things are really increasing in capacity. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've always felt like I've tried to do what God wanted me to do. But we all screw up, folks. We just do. Sometimes we're just so focused on what we're trying to do that we forget what's important. So every once in a while, we need to back up. And I mean, we used to go to these conferences and things where it was a lot of praise, worship, all this stuff. And we haven't done it. And I got to get back doing that. I mean, we really kind of just fell away a little bit. So anyways, we all just need to constantly work on ourselves. I'm always learning anyways. I'm constantly learning new things, but I need to get back to reading. And I highly recommend like The Purpose Driven Life. Let me go get it real quick. Hold on. I've read this book multiple times over the years, but I'll tell you, this is a fantastic read, and it's a pretty quick read. Just today, I think there's 300 pages, and I'm about 140 pages in here, but I've been pretty focused on this today. Another book that's meant a lot to me is In His Steps. Now, this actually contains two books. There's an older version and a newer version. So the older version is written in like the 1900s, and it was a little hard to understand, but if you just fight through it, eventually you pick up on what, the words are a little different back then. And then they have like the grandson or somebody has written the updated version, but this is a really powerful book too. And so this is next on my list. Now this one's got a little beef to it. It's got like 400 pages. So, but you need inspiration. You need to hear, what other people have done. You need to know, learn from other people's mistakes, right? And I'm sharing openly, my mistakes, and I'm going to admit I screwed up, and I'm going to try to get back right. So that's all I'm trying to do here. It doesn't do any good to call me names or anything else because this is my life. I get to choose what I'm doing. I'm not ignoring you guys. I just have to have more focus. I gave you the heads up before the thing jumped, and it's been just steadily going up, and now it's holding. So I'll let you know if anything substantially changes, but this is going to be my focus for at least 21 days. So we'll see if I have to do longer, but 21 days, that's my focus. And like I said, I'm considering this like a spiritual purge right now. I need to do a very quick and dirty. I mean, 21 days is hardly quick, but this is going to be intense the way I do things. I don't do anything half what, you know what I mean. I go full in. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, this isn't, occasionally I'll do a video where, a premiere where it's something I pre-recorded. This is definitely live, and my timer came off because I did it half an hour early. Well, I'm not really blaming myself 100%, but at the same time, when you see weaknesses, you shore them up. Look, again, this kind of goes back to the engineer. I told you before, when we're trying to diagnose a problem, and we had some really nasty problems, and we could take weeks just analyzing the data, trying to understand, what was going on. And then after the analysis of the data, you would find that there's typically, we'll say, like an 80-20. So if you do these few things, you can potentially knock out 80% of the problem, but there's still that 20 that is still costing money. But you attack the 80% first. And so when you think about it, since I can't do anything with the other half, I can do my part, right? Now, who knows whether I'm 80% or 20%? Maybe it's 50-50, 60-40. It really doesn't matter. I can only control me. So that's what I'm doing. Now, the big thing about, most people maybe only know how to pray, but they don't understand there's this thing called an intercessory type prayer. And in this case, I'm only asking for a couple percent of focus on me, but the rest focused on my wife. Try to help, change her heart, try to, work on her to see if there's any opening. That's God's problem. Like I said, I can't do anything about it. I tried. It's God's problem now. So I've turned over my problem to God, and I'm only asking for a little bit of help for this stress that I'm under, and to improve me, period, and come and help me feel his presence again. So I want you to understand that's kind of the way this is. And by the way, I'm praying for our president. I'm praying for our country, my family, but a big focus for my wife. I want her to know that I am praying for her. And this is important because, again, God hates divorce. I know a lot of people have gone through divorce. Look, I've had both sisters on my side went through divorce. My wife's brother and sister went through divorce. We got aunts and uncles that went through divorce. I had a grandmother that was divorced. My parents and her parents hung it out, though. They're still hanging it out all the way through the end. And that's the way I thought we were going to be. But like I said, the problem is if you're not taking care of spiritual business, things happen and you end up causing rifts. Now, is there other things? I don't know, but I do know that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So that's what I'm working on. So I hope you can understand that. Anybody that has, been a Christian for any length of time knows what I'm talking about. And I never intended this channel to be, a highly religious, but I did tell you that I am religious and that, God is my savior. And I'm not afraid to say that. I never have. Yeah, I don't think I saw that Morgan Chase Bank some investigation thing. That's kind of interesting. All I know is that we're on the cusp of something big here right now in these precious metals and miners. The miners still have not taken off like they should. With the price of gold right now, oh my gosh, these gold miners should be through the roof, and they're just not yet. So that's the next phase. You wait. That's going to kick in, and then it's going to be phenomenal. We are just right on the edge of this. I mean, we're right at probably close to 50% from when I started buying the bulk of the gold back in 2018. So that's a huge increase. Yeah, I went to get my oil changed the other day. Everybody in the damn place was wearing a mask except for me. I take that back. There was a young couple came in, didn't have masks. So it looks like it's doing the same thing here. I need to pick up some more comfortable ones. I'm still wearing when I have to these. I think they're 3M masks, the ones I showed you before. They're 3M. What is it, N92 or something? I can't remember what it is, but they're not really that comfortable. Just remember, JNUG is only 2 times now. I'm not convinced that's a way to go. Oh, N95, okay. Yeah, I just when you compare what gold has done versus like the S&P 500 since the end of 2018, I mean, you can tell the S&P 500 broke down and it has not recovered, and it looks like it's teetering again. Keep in mind another reason to lose weight. This COVID is really bad for people that have like diabetes, obesity, any kind of lung or heart problems. All of this stuff is just, it's going to take you out. So do what you can to try to improve your health. And like I said, even before I started drastically losing weight, I told you I had changed how I was eating. I was practicing with rice, and just some protein to learn to like it, because like I said, I never liked rice, but I figured out a way to doctor it up to where it was edible to me and actually enjoyed it. It actually was very enjoyable. So we're all going to have to change. Oh man, sorry, I'm yawning. Yeah, I guarantee I'm 25 to 30 pounds in less than 30 days. So I'm trying to only lose like a half a pound a day instead of like over a pound what I've been doing. And I want to, like I said, if I can get to 190, I'll be super happy. 190 is a good weight. It makes it easier on my back and knees and everything. Oh, hey, I got news for you. So after I filed my tax return electronically, I actually got my return. And so I said, well, let me go check the stimulus. And the stimulus now had a date that it was going to be coming. I can't remember when it is, might be in this next week. But it was very shortly, it's going to be deposited in our account. So good grief, ours was held up forever. Max Strong is in the house. I have so much. I got to go do a video of my garden before I leave on my trip because I went out the other day and I had a friend over and I asked him, I said, what are these things that were, I kid you not, they were long like this and they were like dark green. And he goes, that's a zucchini. I go, oh my God, it looks like a watermelon that's growing. Some of my plants have just been phenomenal. But I just, because of where I'm at right now, I'm just not eating, but I need to, it'd be good to get like a butternut squash and cook it. That's healthy. I was eating some more tamales today just because they're super easy. But I haven't been eating any chips or pretzels or any of that kind of stuff. Just banana cereal and some kind of meal during the day. I opened a can of tuna fish the other day, and it was like mush. I don't know what the deal was. It was the name brand stuff too, but it was like mush. So I don't know what the deal was with that. A Bluetti solar generator. Yeah, that's kind of neat. So, anyways, what else is going on? I tell you, it breaks my heart everything that I've done for this place, and it's potentially just going to be sold and divided. It's just so frustrating. But I have to put it in God's hands. God will decide if that's what's going to happen. Right now, I don't have much options in front of me. 37 minutes already. Seems like it's gone pretty fast, hasn't it? You know, one thing that I noticed this morning. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. I was having this tinnitus in my ears. It's gone. So I think there's actually some healing that's going on already. It was just quiet. I noticed it. I was like, what's that? Just gone. No tinnitus. I've had that for a long time too. When I went to the doctor the other day, my blood pressure, everything was all good. So you would think with the stress that I've been under that I might have seen something elevated, but there wasn't. Yeah, just remember the real saying, Jim, is God, family, work. Yeah, God hates divorce, man. I tell you, if I was anybody giving advice, try to work it out. Nothing is irreconcilable. Everything can be worked out. God, family, work. Especially in the times we're coming, you do not want to be divorced. We need to be pulling together. You don't want to be unequally yoked. It would have to be insurmountable type problems. Um, and I don't know that many. I mean, most things, for better or for worse, people, we made a vow. There is no out in that vow. Said, oh, yeah, unless I change my mind. It's not there, folks. Richer or poorer, I don't remember the whole thing, better or worse, but there's no out. You know, if somebody starts falling by the wayside, that's the purpose of being married. You got to go grab them and say, honey, I love you. What is going on? There is none of this. He's a bad guy now. It's not the way it works. You're supposed to try to lift them up and vice versa. Just by the time I realized there's a problem, she was done. That's really strange, by the way. that is a very strange feeling to just have somebody give up. It's like, where the heck did that happen? Like I said, I've never had hate in my heart. I've had some frustrations. It's like, man, I've always loved her. Just it's like, guys, that's where you got to look at it. It's like, got to dig deep. How do you repay hate? You repay it with love. So that's what you got to do. You got to love. And that goes for anybody. Any other family, any other friends. Unfortunately, this society is a disposable society. But I will tell you, I know several people that have shared with me that had gone through a divorce and they said it was the worst thing they ever did and they never forgave themselves. And this one lady, she told me that she never got to tell her ex-husband that she was sorry for what she did for divorcing him, and he had ended up dying, and it is killing her to this day that she didn't get to apologize. But I know several other people, they were just devastated through divorce, and if they had it, shoulda, woulda, coulda, they would have just not done it. You think you're going to come out on the other side and you're going to be happy that, this other thing is gone, but other things come into play. It's not all bad. If you really sit down and do pros and cons, you're going to find out it's a 2%er that you're getting ticked off about. And you gotta be able to come back and say, okay, I can work over that. And everything that I'm reading, even in this purpose-driven life, there was a whole chapter talked about you can't hold on to the past. You've got to throw that stuff away because it ends up eating inside you. You end up the pain that you're holding on to isn't pain that the other person is holding on to. That other person has, tossed away whatever was said or done. They're not remembering it. So you're poisoning yourself. And this is like one of the biggest marriage killers is people are just not letting go. They're not forgiving. I mean, so maybe that's the deal, right? You have to forgive. You may not forget, but same time, like I said, I think there's a hard drive difference. I can't remember stuff. I think it's because I do go straight to forgiveness, and then it goes filed into the far back file drawer. Now, maybe if I really worked hard, I might try to remember it, but why would I want to? I've already forgiven it. There's too much other stuff going on. So hopefully if you're carrying something around, you need to let it go. It's all about grace. I mean, think about what God did with his son. His son gave us grace, and we need to have grace with everybody else. I didn't mean to do a Sunday school lesson for you guys today. You guys got real quiet. Looks like people are still here, so they're just listening. Yeah, it's possible. There's no way to know without somebody talking to you. So I know there was unhappiness for quite some time, but it's without somebody talking to you, I can't help. So like I said, the only thing that I can work on is right here. Work on myself. I'm giving the other problem to God. I should have done that maybe 3 weeks ago, but it's I thought I could figure out what was going on and work through it. Yeah, I don't know if she does or not. I had sent her some personal videos, and I actually got something from her a couple days ago. She told me to only communicate through the lawyer. So right now, this is not necessarily for her. This is I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Just like when I tell you how I invest, I'm not telling anybody how to do anything. You decide what you're going to do. I'm just going to work on myself. Yeah, there is no trial in this thing. This is a I forget what they call it. It's a certain kind of state where they just divide the assets. There's none of this stuff. There's no infidelity. There's none of that crap. This is she's just doing the basic irreconcilable differences without doing any counseling or anything else. Yeah, no fault. Which is I don't know. I've read a lot of stuff about the other kinds, and there were abuses, but I consider this kind of an abuse here too, where somebody just decides, "Yep, I want out," without really having a good reason and without actually trying to work towards anything. You have to think about. There's a reason why you married somebody, right? And you'll hear that people change and all this stuff, but at the same time, that person is still in there. So I have a hard time believing that there is such a thing as irreconcilable differences. It's just a matter of, especially after 35 years. I mean, you just gotta talk and work through and figure out what the deal is. It's almost like if you just can't bring up stuff from 10 years ago. Good golly, Miss Molly, just tell me what it is right now, but what you can do, and that's what you do. It's like the most unfair. That's another thing. One of the things I read, the most unfair argument tactic is to say, well, 10 years ago you did this. It's like you might as well just shoot yourself, because it's like you can't fix that stuff. All I can do is go from this point forward and try to improve. And by the way, you got to realize it's not going to be perfect. We'll adjust, but real time, you got to give feedback. Wait a minute, you kind of did that again. Okay, sorry, try again. I mean, think about how you do things at work, right? If they fired you for everything that you did 10 years ago, it's like, that's not the way it works. What you've got to do is you kind of sit down with a person and say, hey, we're having a little bit of trouble here. We want to change this behavior and try to improve things. That's what you're supposed to do in a marriage. And you might have a few things say, yeah, okay, well, while we're here, can we talk about this? And it's like being a little professional, right? Just to be piling on about, everything that's gone wrong over 10 years is not helpful. You got to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, that's behind us. Now, what are we going to do going forward? What do you want to do? How are we going to do it? That's the way it works. Yeah, that may be the case, but you got to remember, we both change as we grow older, but it's still a commitment. That doesn't, like I said, we took a vow in front of God and family. That is not something you take lightly. There is no exit clause on there. Like I said, the big thing is you're just supposed to sit down, talk through the issues, and see if you can find some common ground and start working towards improving. That's the way we did it at work. You say, okay, boss, I hear what you say. Let me go see what I can do differently, how we can improve. In marriage, you're just supposed to say yes, dear, all the time, I guess. 49 minutes. Yep. Yeah, that was the other thing that was kind of a shocker. But like I said, it's like pulling pins out of a hand grenade and just throwing them, not thinking of the consequences. This is happening ridiculously quick. And so, but like I said, you can't control somebody else. You you can't understand what they're thinking. They're not talking to you. So I'm concerned about her counsel. I've had to reject several counsel already because of, and I mean counselors, because so many of these counselors, they claim to be Christian, but then they, they're pushing, I wouldn't say exactly divorce, but they're pushing this thought. It's like, sometimes that's what really needs to be done, even though we've gone through what our issues have been, and that shouldn't even be on the table. Yeah, I understand. Many people have regrets for divorce. And look, divorce might take 6 months to get through, and then it's over. And then all of a sudden you're having to make all the decisions where you've not had to do that before. And all of a sudden you're going to an empty house, which you hadn't had to do before. No sharing of anything. And then you get older and you think about medical problems and everything you got. She's lived a pretty sweet life with having me taking care of all the financial responsibilities. All her physical needs were met. I just screwed up on the emotional. I didn't know what to do for that. So some of this is really just trying to figure out how to see if there's a back door to get back in. I just don't know if there is or not. We'll find out. Right now, it looks like, all the doors are closing. But like I said, it's in God's hands now. I'm not making it my problem anymore. I really felt that we did everything right by choosing each other. That's the other thing. I do believe God chose our marriage. The biggest problem I have with myself is I am very focused on tasks. So, when I got to 50 years old, I knew that retirement, I was in the, fourth quarter of my financial life, and I had to have it perfect. And that's when I started doing all the rental properties and everything else. And that was a huge, huge effort. Now, she doesn't have any retirement. Hold on a second. Hey, can I call you back? I'm in the middle of my live stream. All right, bye. That was my wonderful son. So she'll get half of my pension. She gets half of everything. Yeah, that's the real concern, is that this takes a lot of discipline to do, what I've done. And I have worked really hard to make this as robust as possible. But we're actually on easy street. Like I said, we just have a few years and Social Security kicks in, Medicare and all that. All the expenses start getting better and better. But now this has become the destroyer of the plans. So really, folks, just, don't take for granted what you got. I don't know that I would say that's what I did, but life just got really busy. And then I got sick, and then I got stressed. And I know it's just because I wasn't giving enough to God. It's God's job, to handle a lot of this stuff. My tinfoil hat says, yes, you are, but I don't know what that means. Might have been something I said 5 minutes ago, I guess. Yeah, if you haven't ever had discipline in handling money, it will go very quickly. It takes a lot of discipline. And not only that, you have to figure out a way to make your money grow too. Oh, motivate, yeah. So thank you. Yeah, I'm very motivated. I'm too motivated. I get tunnel vision focusing on my task because, again, that's what my job taught me. I mean, we were just beat the living crap out of us all the time to knock things out. And it's just part of my being. And my drive is stronger than my body. That's what I've learned. So now it's like, I shouldn't have that kind of drive anymore. I should be retired, but I have to rewire myself. I haven't done that yet. And that's a big part of why we've got our problem that we have right now. So this, by doing things like this 21-day fasting and prayer, this is a way to turn the switch down, right? I've been on high, bring it down to, medium high to medium. That's what I'm going to do over 21 days. Try to bring this thing down. Yeah, I think it's a guy thing. We get the tunnel vision. We just get focused. And again, your spouse is supposed to pull you back, say, hey, honey, come here. I just never got that. I don't know what it was. I never got that. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Never got that. So it makes me wonder if it's been, broke longer than I care to admit. But anyways, focus on improving yourself. Focus on your relationships. There's nothing we can do to make anybody else happy. We can try to be sensitive to their needs, but they have to communicate. I mean, all this is, we're not psychics, but there are basic things that you can do for meeting women's needs. And probably going to have to go read that Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus type thing. But there's actually some really good Christian books that kind of talk about this, and don't take it for granted. But I think that's all I kind of have to say. And I hope you guys really just kind of, like I talk about, just do the best you can. That's all we can do. Yeah, I don't believe she's been unfaithful. I don't believe that's the case. I trust her. I don't think that's the case, but you never know. I'm right now, I have full forgiveness. My whole goal is reconciliation. The whole thing is to sit down and talk through things. It's just the way you got to do it. You got to work on your problems. So I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.